Welcome to Team Perry's Step Out of Line podcast, featuring co-hosts Perry and Lori Finkelstein. Together, they explore, meet, and share inspirational stories with guests who have made a positive impact in today's world. This podcast resonates with our hope to make this world a better place one step at a time through love, acceptance, and uplifting conversations.
Very beautiful Aerie Stroker, who looks very put together, who apparently is just about to film a Christmas movie, and it's very hot out here, so we're very interested in hearing how that's going to work out. Aerie has been Perry's idol for many months. She's a role model to so many children, adults, whether they have a disability or not a physical disability. She's just amazing who she is, and we just wanted to meet you and find out how you got started in the business and what struggles have you had and what have you had to overcome in order to make it.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, Perry, in your corner. This is so fun for me to get to connect with you. So much of what I do in my career, I hope leads to moments like this where I get to meet people who follow along and are excited about the things that I'm doing, and hopefully are helping them continue to go after their dreams and their goals. So I'll talk a little bit about myself. I was introduced to theater when I was 7 years old, down at the Jersey Shore. My next door neighbors had a daughter who had just come home from Stage Door Manor, which is like a performing arts camp in the Berkshires. And she decided that she was going to direct a production of Annie in our backyard. And she cast me as Annie. And it was the first time that I was asked to be a lead or like a leader in a situation, and it really changed my life. And I fell in love with theater, and I fell in love with the process of putting on a show. So when I was given this opportunity to be the star of the show, something really powerful happened where I felt for the first time like I was in charge of the way that people were seeing me. So instead of people staring at me, feeling sorry for me or being curious about my disability, the audience was looking at me because I was telling the story and I was singing the songs, and I felt powerful for the first time in my life. And it became more than a passion or a hobby. It became this sort of way of life that if I'm going to be somebody who has people's attention, I want to not just have their attention because of my disability, but because of a skill set. And I had a gift, and I could sing and act and dance, and I wanted to share that.
That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. I know with Perry, she has that, I think, with academics, that she excels at it, but people don't realize she has to work probably 6 times as hard as they do to get the grade that she gets. But she also feels empowered and triumphant when she gets a great grade. So that's what she shoots for. I think if everybody has a goal, whatever they are in life, whoever they are, I think if you are successful, you get that feeling, you get that joy, and then you feel empowered. But if you don't have that feeling, I think especially when you do have a physical disability, it can be very, depressing and what am I doing? Where am I going? So, everybody has something special. You are found yours at such a young age.
I thank you. And there's something really, I think, kind of amazing that happens with disability. So like you have these set of limitations, but what if you're able to put your attention on your abilities? And like what I am hearing, like with Perry, so Perry, you are a student, you are really smart, you are really confident, And in so many ways, when you have a limitation, your abilities become like superpowers. They become even greater. They become stronger. And, you know, I think that is such a gift, right? It's like, okay, if you take one side of the picture, the other side becomes brighter. It becomes more interesting. And I'm just so excited to hear that you've kind of found your thing, and you've found like the thing that makes you feel really good and powerful, because that is an opportunity with when you have a disability, is to find the things that you can do and that make you feel really good.
So Perry also, I don't know if you had a chance to look at her website. She does marathons, the Miami Marathon every January, and she raises a lot of money for a charity called High Lifeline, which helps out children like Perry and children with cancer battle and actually enjoy life and love life, and happiness heals. That's their motto. So Perry stepped out of line in her life and was able to, and still is helping out kids. I know you've stepped out of line in your life, in your career or your personal life. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I love that phrase. It reminds me of the phrase like, well-behaved women never have made history. Like, it's sort of like that amazing moment of like, by breaking the rules, you then are able to sort of shine. And I guess the story that comes to mind is when I got to college, I was accepted into NYU's drama program, but the first week, the head of the drama department and some of my teachers sat me down and they said, well, we don't want you to take the dance classes because we don't think that that will work for us. And, 18-year-old Allie was sort of shocked, but also I was lucky enough to have done enough advocacy work for myself up until that point to realize that, like, okay, somebody is giving me a no. How do I turn this into a yes? Because I knew I wanted to be dancing. Like, I dance. I love to dance. And, for someone who moves differently and moves on wheels, what an opportunity to explore your moves in dance class. So I told them, okay, why are you afraid? Like, what is the concern? And we slowly built trust. And I started doing just the warm-ups. So I would do like the first half of the class, and then I would observe the second half of class. And by the end of the year, I was doing the entire class, and everybody in the class was on board. The teachers were on board. And it was a moment of not accepting no and not accepting a limitation that someone else was putting on to me. Because that's what's funny about, being in a wheelchair or having a disability, is that other people project their own opinions of what your limitations are. Meanwhile, they have no idea what is possible. Only you know what's possible. And like, Perry, you're doing marathons. Like, somebody would not maybe know that by first meeting you. And for me, like, I had never seen anybody in a wheelchair on Broadway. I'd never seen anybody with a disability on Broadway. And I said, you know what? It's not a matter of if, it's just how. I'm going to make it to Broadway. I'm going to do this. And it might be when I'm older, it might take, a long time to get there. And then, I graduated from college, and about 10 years later, or less than 10, it was about 8 years or 6 years later, I made my Broadway debut, and in a way that I never expected. But I was not waiting for somebody else to show me how. I was really determined to just, pave my own way. And that's what I did, and it has paid off big time.
Yes, I saw a clip of you in Oklahoma singing, and you didn't just play the role. You really were very sassy, and you gave it everything that role needed, which I'm sure shocked people, because it's very maybe unusual for them to imagine somebody who is in a wheelchair having the guts and the balls and be able to do that role, which is, you know, kind of out there. It's kind of sexual. You kind of, you know, show this is me, this is who I am. And I saw it and I was like stunned. I said, Perry, you have to see this because she is incredible. And I saw the faces of the people in the audience and their jaws dropped, but they had also such joy for you that you were doing this, and they lost themselves in the role. I think they stopped seeing Aerie in the wheelchair and they just saw this actress doing this role the way that it should be done. So it was incredible. And we were, you know, we were cheering for you. It was really beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. It was such a great opportunity because the character is a girl, you know, her song that I sang, you know, every night was I Can't Say No. It was, you know, the character was somebody who was not afraid. She was not bashful. She was curious and she was ready to explore and get her answers. And she also had 2 different relationships with 2 different guys in the show. And this was such a fun opportunity physically to not need to talk about the disability, but just show the way that I might interact or to show intimacy when there's a disability involved. And I think people really, really dug it because the truth is, no matter who you are, if you have a disability or not, intimacy looks different for everyone. And so like when I was interacting with Will Parker, one of my boyfriends in the show, he sat on my lap. And then when I was interacting with Ali Hackham, and he was my other boyfriend in the show, I sat on his lap. So like there was always these cool sort of explorations and opportunities to, you don't need to talk about it, but just to show how, you know, for me, what intimacy looks like. And that was so fulfilling and exciting to share with the world and to share with audiences every night.
So now you're still breaking barriers. You're doing a Christmas movie. You're filming it in Canada. And so excited. We just got, you know, that announcement that you're doing that. And you had a big smile on your face in the picture that they showed of you getting this role. We was, you know, Perry was saying, look what Allie's doing now. How awesome is that? And what character are you playing? And I'm hoping that it'll come out this Christmas.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this because growing up, well, first of all, I always loved Christmas. But growing up, I always was looking for representation of myself in romantic comedies. I was always like, where is the story about me? And I never saw it. And I never saw it authentically played either. I didn't have, you know, women in wheelchairs that were older than me that I looked up to. And so this is such a fun opportunity because it is like a romantic comedy and it's a story about a romance novelist, which is the character that I'm playing. And she goes to this Christmas lodge every Christmas. And this Christmas she meets a guy and you see the whole story unfold and it's really beautiful and really heartwarming. And I hope that people enjoy it and we start shooting next week. So we haven't even done it yet, but it'll be a really quick process and then hopefully it'll be out this Christmas.
I'm so excited. And then do you have plans to go back on Broadway soon? Because I know you're closed on Broadway until January.
Yeah, so my show, Oklahoma, closed in January. So that show won't be coming back. And I'm not cast in any Broadway shows at the moment. Broadway right now is definitely on the longest hiatus it's ever been on since Broadway began. And I know that there will be a lot of rebuilding, but I hope in the future that I'll be on Broadway again. We'll see, you know. But as an actress, you never know what's going to be coming next. But I'm really, really excited for Broadway to come back. I know that audiences are missing live theater so much, and I'm sure that it will be back soon, hopefully 2021.
Well, Allie, we're gonna for sure be there in person to see you when you get back on Broadway.
Thank you.
No matter what show it is, we're gonna get tickets and we're gonna come see you and cheer you on because we're so proud of you. You're a role model, as you know, to young women with disabilities, without disabilities, and we adore you. And we're so proud of you. And it's a shame that you have to be breaking barriers at this day and age in 2020, doing what you're doing, but we're so glad that you're there to do it for us because we need you. So you have thousands of people behind you, pushing you, saying, "Allie, let's go." So we're very, very proud of you and so happy and so grateful that you took time today to talk to us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Allie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh.
And this is just so fun to get to connect with you, Perry, because I really respect and admire the work that you do as well. So keep up the great work and your marathons and all your academics. And I know you'll get an MBA if that's what you want. And so please stay in touch, okay? Like, you know, if there's anything I can ever do to support you, please let me know.